Uh, Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for being here. I just had one update to share, and that is many of you may recall being involved in what has called our situational assessment. Future use is a critical component of Superfund sites, and we often look at potential future uses and try to plan around that. And to that end, at this Superfund site, we did a reuse assessment. And so we did essentially phase one of that reuse assessment was talking to everyone involved. So we spoke with community leaders, we spoke with government organizations, we spoke with individuals, various organizations that are around the river to get a sense of what is the interest for future use around the Superfund site. And that situational assessment was summarized in a report, which is essentially phase one of the process. And that report has been finalized. It has been published, and we have it on our website to share for folks to read. But essentially, it really kind of summarizes all of the input that we received, and it ends with providing recommendations on next steps based upon all the input that we received. One of the most popular areas of interest that we did receive was in the realm of habitat. And we were very fortunate to actually sit down with Bob to spend an hour with him to talk about habitat and opportunities. And many of the other parties that we spoke with also brought up habitat. And so one of the next steps in phase two that we will be doing will be developing an inventory of potential habitat projects along the 10-mile stretch of the river. So this was one of a number of recommendations out of that phase one report, but it was a prominent one, and that's the one that we plan to start with. We recognize that there have been a lot of different organizations, groups, jurisdictions that have looked at habitat, looked at potential habitat, created plans for habitat, and we want to really evaluate that and take that into account and incorporate that so that we are developing a robust tool that would be useful. So this tool, we hope, will support ongoing coordination for creating habitat within the 10-mile stretch of the river for things like mitigation requirements when we implement this remedy, or for any other potential projects for other reasons. This tool may be valuable in identifying valuable potential habitat within the 10-mile stretch of the river. So this phase two assessment will, we plan, we're starting to kick it off. We do have the funding for it, so it is going to happen. And we will, over the coming months, we will be talking with many folks, drilling down on habitat, deciding how best to develop a valuable tool that will be useful for EPA and for others when they are interested in what are potential habitat projects along this 10-mile stretch. Our contractor for doing this work is SKIO. They were involved in phase one, and I'd just like to make mention and highlight we have one person from SKIO here in the back, Michael Montoya. He is involved in the project and developing the work for phase two. So many folks will be hearing from us, and we'll be doing additional outreach as we develop this tool. Our timing is roughly the middle of next year to kind of have something in place for phase two. I'd also just finally like to highlight that the phase one report had some additional recommendations. So we will be also looking at those for consideration as well as we move forward to try and ensure that we're being mindful of future use along this river once it's cleaned up. And that's it.